It is day 2 of the World Economic Forum, and today things seem to be a whole lot calmer outside the Cape Town International Convention Centre. Our business anchor Ayabonga Cawe is there, and he's been bringing you some interesting sessions throughout the day. Some of the sessions include data is Africa's new oil. That was a key discussion point earlier. Now you've attended the next session. Well, he's attended the next session. We're going to cross over to him perhaps and find out what that was and what we can expect throughout the conference. Now, let's cross over to Ayabonga. Ayabonga, molo unjani.
Molo Liezle unjani wena?
Gikhona. So, day 2 of the World Economic Forum on Africa. You, of course, are in Cape Town bringing us the latest coverage. Walk us through what some of the sessions entail today and some of the key takeaways that you could highlight.
We are indeed, Liezle, here at the Cape Town International Convention Centre for the World Economic Forum on Africa. We've just come out of a session which, of course, was billed to have President Cyril Ramaphosa, but as you have said there in your headlines, he then addressed the throngs that were outside of Parliament there, protesting against gender-based violence, and we also know that he's going to be addressing Parliament later on this afternoon. Now, Minister of Finance, Liezle Wilson, stood in his place and delivered the remarks that the President would have delivered here at the World Economic Forum. He was also joined by a former Nigerian Cabinet Minister and Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, in a platform there that was chaired by the founder of the World Economic Forum, social entrepreneur, economist and engineer, Klaus Schwab. And much of that conversation, Liezle, was around how nations on the African continent can respond to some of the challenges and opportunities presented by the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And there were also many questions there that Minister Mboweni had to field about, I guess, the Continental Free Trade Area and whether or not, if we look at some of the events around xenophobia here in South Africa, whether or not South Africa continues to be committed to the spirit of that continental free trade area and, of course, the unity of the African continent more broadly. And he was unequivocal in his viewpoint, saying that the unity of the continent remains an important imperative and remains paramount to the efforts of South Africa and some of the initiatives that are underway here. But more importantly, that the free movement of not only goods but the free movement of people remains a crucial pillar of that initiative there around the continental free trade area. And even, I guess, Quipton said that if he wanted to be an Ankole farmer all the way out in Uganda, that he should be free to do so. And talking also there, I guess, to rousing applause and laughter, that he had an AU passport and that he felt that many of the things that young people are raising, be it in space technology, be it in drone technology, and many of the other exponential technologies, are something that his generation might not be familiar with. And it's important to have some form of generational mix in cabinets, within the executive, and in positions of authority and power. And Klaus Schwab, of course, following that up and saying, yes, much like South Africa might have that Fourth Industrial Revolution Commission, that the challenge that he is placing before the South African executive there is to have a cabinet minister solely dedicated to the Fourth Industrial Revolution, Liezle.
All right, Ayabonga, thank you very much for giving us the latest there from the World Economic Forum on Africa. Of course, we'll continue to get updates.